Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Tempestini. I am the product owner for ePay Manager.
My name is Ryan Johnson. I'm the Director of Product Management at OTR Solutions.
We're excited to give you a live look into ePay Manager. It's the central hub for brokers, carriers, and factors to gain real-time visibility into billing, invoicing, and document audit. And today we're going to attempt something we believe has never been done on a FreightWaves stage before. We're going to audit 70 invoices in just under 7 minutes. We're on the clock, so we're going to get started. Carriers will begin the process right here in their carrier portal. They can log in using their own account or a secure link sent to them via email. So here's how invoicing works with ePay Manager. Once a load is delivered, you as the broker will mark it delivered in your TMS. And because your TMS is already connected to ePay Manager, that action will trigger an automated invoice creation and a proactive request sent to the carrier to upload their delivery documents and review the invoice. We can see here the invoice has already been created for the carrier based on data from your TMS. All they need to do is upload their paperwork, review, and accept the invoice. Once the paperwork has been attached and the invoice has been accepted, ePay's document automation gets to work, automatically classifying and reviewing the documents against data from your transaction.
So moving back into ePay from the broker's view now, here's where we are going to start today. Picture a stack of 70 invoices. In this case, in ePay, this is going to be a list of 70 invoice transactions that have all been accepted by carriers and had the paperwork attached. Now it's time for us to audit these transactions against their paperwork so that we can approve them for payment to our carriers and advance with invoicing the shippers.
All right, so here is one of your soon-to-be favorite features. We call this the Document Insights widget. It gives you a bird's-eye level view into everything that our best-in-class audit engine has already verified against your carrier's delivery documents. So we can see here that automation has verified all of the key checks already. Do the customer reference numbers match? Are there signatures or receiver stamps present? Are there any damages, shortages, or blurry documents that the customer won't accept? And most importantly, does this satisfy all of my shipper-specific requirements that I have pre-configured? And the beauty of this is that as soon as documents hit ePay's system, automation gets to work. You can review these insights yourself manually, or you can auto-configure rules to automate the approval and rejection of invoices based on these document insights.
Yeah, and overall, almost all of today's traditional manual audit work in this area can be automated, and that can reduce your time spent on AP audits by up to 75%.
Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some situations where automation is going to save you some headaches and look at some of the not so good examples. Ahead of this demo, we configured some rules to automatically reject invoices that do not meet our expectations. This transaction right here, for example, was already automatically rejected based on something the automation found and a rule that we have configured against it. In this particular example, the customer reference number does not match. You can see that indicated by the red X in the Doc Insights widget. And if we take a look at the details here, we can see we found an example where the customer reference number was only off by a single character. Now that is something the human eye could easily miss. And instead of your team having to handle this manually, ePay has automatically contacted the carrier requesting a resubmission, and the transaction has moved back into pending status.
Yeah, and you can create a number of other business rules in ePay Manager to trigger the same action automatically, such as requiring that a lumper receipt is submitted for any transaction where a lumper fee is present.
Okay, so we're going to head back to the invoice transactions page. And since we did a lot of the legwork early on to configure those auto rejection rules, everything we see on this list should be in a good spot for us to approve. And as we spot check a few transactions in here, we can see green check marks across the board where we expect them. We have a very high confidence in our automation, thanks to a 99.3% auto classification accuracy rate. However, we understand that sometimes you may want to act as that final gate for a transaction's approval. In that case, the document insights will still augment your process considerably by highlighting key areas you may want to take just a second look at. And if we did want to send something back to the carrier at this stage, the process is very simple. We can reject the invoice, include a reason why, and add a little note.
Yeah, and this process really allows for the document review to be exactly what you want it to be. It can be no touch, or your team can dig into the detailed review where they want to. Now, since we do trust our automation and we are running short on time, we're going to go ahead and approve all of our invoice transactions using ePay's bulk approval functionality.
And lastly, if you did want to utilize ePay's fully automated doc audit workflow, you could create business rules to automate this process entirely, moving all your transactions to approved status without your team ever having to lift a finger.
So now those 70 transactions that we started with have all been approved. In addition, any relevant updates that have been made to these transactions have been automatically synced back to your TMS. And lastly, the execution of payments for these transactions are already in motion. When the terms that were chosen earlier in this process by the carrier come due, ePay will facilitate the processing of those payments if that's something that you want ePay to help you with. However, the choice there is totally yours.
So at an average manual speed, your team could review maybe 3 or 4 invoices in the time it took us to do this demo. And we just approved 70 transactions in under 7 minutes. This powerful automation has been trained against millions of freight documents and billions of dollars in freight spend. And the best part about using ePay's Doc Audit, it's part of a proactive and connected back office workflow. That means less duplicative effort and wasted time for your teams, reduced days to invoice, and ultimately happier carriers and customers. In short, that is true back office automation.
Awesome. If you're interested in learning more about how ePay can transform your back office, come see us at our booth and let us show you how we can make your back office better. Thanks.
Thank you so much.